Peace and blessings, Asafo, the success scholar, the honorable one, Hakisha Kwame here. Thank you all for tuning in, listening in. I want to do this piece, and I'm gonna call it "Giving My Book to Dr. Cathy Hughes." Sorry, toothpaste. Um, so Miss Hughes has been given the opportunity. Well, I'm sorry, not given the opportunity. She was awarded, or it was announced that Dr. Cathy Hughes' name will go on Howard University School of Communication. So I watched the uh, last night's TV1 interview with Roly Martin, uh, and it was informative. It was informative. We need to study different people that have done some dynamic things in business and in life. And so Miss Hughes is going to be coming to Baltimore on 2 occasions over the next month, so next 30 days, 45 days out. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give her my best-selling book, Mission Unstoppable: Extraordinary Stories of Failures, Blessings, co-authored book with Les Brown, Dr. George C. Frazier. Now, some may ask, and it has been asked over time, and I listen to Miss Hughes. I actually learned uh, just where she was with her work and uh, and the evolution of radio, and then on to cable, and then now with TV1 integrative digital or something to that effect. And where she would like to be. So I'm going to offer her my book. I'm going to give it to her. There's certain sometimes when you don't try to sell your book to everybody. Let's just be aware for you all that's watching this that are authors. Don't necessarily try to sell your book to everyone. Some people, they don't have time to be pulling out money. You just get it in where you can. So, but I do believe certainly that both of these names carry their weight. Les Brown and Dr. George C. Frazier, and I think that she would be certainly interested and pleased to have that. But what's interesting is several individuals have asked me why haven't I been on more of her stations. Miss Cathy Hughes, personally, she doesn't know me thus far, and I'm, that's fine, but what I will say is, and it's not all for me at this particular time, at this particular stage of my evolution. It's not a matter of reaching millions or thousands of people. There was a time, let me turn this down. Multitasking. Uh, shoot. There was a time when in business or in life or whatever it is that you're doing, you may feel, or I certainly may have felt, that it's about reaching this many people, that many people. But what I'm beginning to understand and see and witness, depending upon your business, you know, you may not necessarily need uh, a whole lot of mass marketing. Yeah. So you have to reevaluate your strengths and your clients and how best your clients actually like to be communicated in. And so I'm learning that from a sense that eventually or in time, you may just have to send a quick email or may have to send a quick text. You may have to call people. Phones still work. We pay monthly phone bills, so phones still work to call up people. So realizing that I've done tremendous amount of marketing and sharing my story between Philadelphia, Baltimore, and DC. Let's look at it. I mean, from the Dr. Welsing to the Ashwaquisis to, doing events at Morgan State, at Coppin State over the past few years, the Reginald F. Lewis Museum, the Blacks and Wax Museum. Uh, I have certain rights from down to Prince George's County to the National Harbor in D.C. To the Camelot, to Dr. Randall Pickett, the 100 Black Men, the Black professional men in Baltimore. I mean, to all the events, in between Baltimore and Prince George's County, to Annapolis, at different events in Annapolis, to the Congressional Black Caucus, um, being there, speakings, marketing my book, showing at the Legislative Black Caucus, at the legislative level, uh, showing up at the CBC year after year, having a table last year. So it reaches a point where, and not to say that you just have to show up. I want everybody to know it's not about showing up. And what I will also mention, as I've mentioned in several videos, for those who may be seeing this for the first time or seeing my video, uh, uh, I've read 100 books a year for 11 years. Now, to some people, that's not nothing. Who are you? What do you own? Where do you teach? Or like people with limited assessment skills, particularly uh, those that may not be well versed or well readers, they may not necessarily know what actually you stand for, who you are, what you're thinking about. When I tell people that I've read 100 books a year for 11 years, it can kind of spook them out in some senses. So they're really like, well, what do you do? Because that could be a broad, that's unimaginable for some people, but real individuals that deal with personal development, where they look at 10,000 hours of study, you can become a good to master a particular craft. They understand that, and so with that being said, so depending upon what I actually studied uh, during those times, as well as what I'm currently evolving into, can in fact determine my perception and perceived values. So some people have asked me why I'm not on several of her shows, or why I'm not being interviewed by some of the other hosts, for instance, on some of the local shows in the DMV area. Well, I've been on several different shows, certainly on 1450 and 1010 over the years, some of the more customized shows. But let's just make it, plain that there is certainly a conspiracy of ignorance. There's a conspiracy of ignorance and miseducation and dumbing down in the Black community, where there's a culture of entertainment, there's a culture of sport and play, there's a non-scholarly, uh, non-appreciation of knowledge, of the right knowledge of being successful within the Black community, that uh, I've certainly had to, as of recently, been able to assess, like which direction should I go in, partnering with different individuals, and realizing that I've given tens of thousands, and hundreds of thousands of individuals the opportunity. And so once I came along with this book, I know that some people may not realize, what this actually means, or what it's going to mean for me. See, I'm different. Not everybody understand the broad value, and I'm gonna, when I talk to Miss Hughes, I'm gonna let her know, like, look, I mean, with humility and respect, this absolutely means something, and not that uh, that within itself is going to open every opportunity, every door for me. but you got to give people the opportunity. Give people the opportunity to spot talent. And so, what I'm saying, if Miss Hughes and hopefully if Mr. Liggins will be present, in fact, I'm going to take two, uh, because they may realize, they're talking about empowering our community, information plus power, information is power. Hopefully, they will be wise enough to ensure that I'm actually on their radio shows. But uh, I'm not going to necessarily wait for that. I do quite well with just showing up at the right places, being on individuals' A-list, and using my good judgment in terms of how much do I need to do, how much do I need to show up. Like several years ago, I went to the Afro newspaper 110-year anniversary. So I mean, I've supported different groups and over the years in DC, grassroots groups, grassroots organizations. So when somebody reaches out for me and they say, "Hey, can you show up?" I've been showing up long enough. Now it's like if I'm not speaking, if I'm not on a panel, I mean, it got to be some serious thinkers and readers and builders. I've been through, all the political groups and people, all the politics, local level, been down to City Hall. So, I'm like the community meetings, the radical groups. And so I'm not going to sit up here and waste too much time, unless I'm painting a picture, unless I feel that some folk are serious. But it's not that many ideas. So when people promote these conferences, come to this, and I'm like, I mean, asking me like I'm being lazy if I don't come. Like, no, I'm far from that. But I'm not just sitting around a table anymore. And for years I've done that. Selling hundreds of books, thousands of books over the past 15 years. Certainly, matter of fact, probably, yes. Over the past 15 years, sold books up and down the East Coast from Richmond to DC to Philly, Baltimore, New York. Uh, Came in, let people see some unique books that they don't have the opportunity to see. So what I'm saying is this: at this particular time, I'm not, wise people, wise individuals certainly would appreciate and invite me on their show. But I'm certainly happy and appreciative that I get, to do this and talk to several people, key people that's smart. So I'm saying for you all that are reading, that are watching my clips, do begin to read, do begin to show up uh, outside of where you've been conditioned to show up to personal self-development conferences, workshops, lectures by readers, thinkers. Uh, Raise it up, I mean, stop spending time, socializing and cigar bars and happy hours. It's about the preservation of life and wealth building. Show up at these different wealth building workshops. And I'm not just talking about network marketing, but I am a product on many levels of several network marketing companies. So I'm not, suggesting you not go, but just be strategic and gain some experience. I don't promote people to just stay in the network marketing arena. And this is why, you have to understand where you are demographically. You have to look at the different opportunities out here, know what different people are actually engaged in to maximize on what it is that you can do, your product or service. So I've done a lot of that, and now I'm in quite a strategic position to elevate. And so don't get out of your tootsies or whatever if you don't necessarily see me on some or hear me on some particular radio shows. Don't think that they are the end game, end all, be all for everything. So just know that progress is being made. We're making. I'm certainly making strategic alliances with some pretty established organizations and corporations. I'm adding value to these corporations and organizations, and so I don't have much more to say, but just keep. If you haven't gotten my book, working on the next few the next book soon. So keep an eye out for that. But definitely support this one and support a real movement about real progress. So I'll be giving this book, like Ali said, I'm telling you what I'm gonna do before it's done. So I'm gonna give this book to Miss Cathy Hughes. I'll let you know how I go. I'm gonna take a picture of that. And so, and she's the top. She's the queen, on many different levels. So, yes. So I'm speculating that this is going to be a big break. I'm going to ask for a meeting with her and let her know, like, look, yes, do consider the Success Scholar for your different programs and initiatives and speaking. I may be young, but I'm far from dumb. So, and I'm rolling with some of the best and the brightest in the world, Dr. George Frazier and Les Brown, who speak all over the country, all over the world, actually. And neither of these gentlemen, well, Les Brown certainly shares that he was speaking to a room full of MDs, medical doctors, and he didn't even have one degree. And so I'm saying that, as the Success Scholar, I do recognize and believe that, my research and inspiration and how I can transform the individuals through the power of knowledge, through the power of affirmations, and really the power of focus. Focus on what you need to do, and measuring your resources, the people around you, the teams that you build, your accountability partners, and just your overall business builders that you need to have around you. So, so I say, get my book. It should be like a novelty. You should have it around, displaying it prominently, so individuals will know that you are affiliated, and know individuals that are affiliated with some of the best and brightest in the world, some of the international renowned motivational speakers and networkers, empowerment networkers in the world. So you should own this, if it's for the sake of putting it on your coffee table, so that when the top network marketers, the top speakers, the top trainers, the top coaches come, they'll say, "Oh, these two? Well, I don't know that guy, but you will. You will. It's only a matter of time, man. With the blessing of Miss Cathy Hughes, we shall see." But I'm gonna continue to make progress by any and every means, manage my money, and create opportunities. I'm focused and determined and scholarly, and with military bearing in my work ethic and attention to detail. So that's all I have. Peace.